Good morning. Good morning. We are back another Thursday. Good morning, everyone from Miami. Those of us watching us, thank you. Those of us listening, thank you. Thanks for coming back. For those of you returning, thank you for coming back. Like I said, we are always excited to have you. For those of you who are new, watching or listening to us, welcome as well. If you're watching, you can put a thumbs up or a hands up in the chat so we know you are new. Welcome to Coffee Time with Marie Torossian, CPA, and my tax colleague, Pedro Gonzalez. And I know I always change the way I say things. That's because it's never scripted and I just go with the flow and I say exactly what I want to say. I want to encourage those of you listening and those of you watching us to please like and share and follow us on the channel or the that you are listening or watching us from. So we always want to make sure that you do not miss any of our episodes that are coming up. Quick intro about me, Marie Torossian, CPA, and like I said, a certified public accountant and a chartered global management accountant, an experienced auditor, and a CFO. I'm an advisor and a transformation coach, Grant Cardone licensee. I have a registered methodology, Valuation MT, which I use specifically to help business owners that they reach their first million to get to 10 million and more. I'm also author of a couple of books, The Complete Guide to Business Growth, which is available on Kindle, and Business Owner's Guide to Operational Accounting, and that's an ebook, very short read. I'll put the links in the chat for you guys to download. Um, and of course, thank you, Pedro, to join me today. I always love having you on the show.
You're welcome, and welcome everybody. Pedro Gonzalez, your business and tax strategist, helping you to achieve your financial goals with developing, obviously, tax strategies to lower your taxes, cash flow management to improve your cash flow. Cash flow in every business is lifeblood for your business, and exit strategies. All of us are going to exit. It just depends on how we're going to exit. So, we're here to help you achieve those financial goals. Uh, we have mentioned before we have the real estate guide for those people interested in investing in real estate. It gives you a guide that gives them tips on tax strategies that you can implement immediately and start seeing results. Uh, that will follow with a 7-day e-course that again will add some additional value to you, and the newsletter that will also continue throughout the year giving you advice. Like, share, and join us. I mean, be active, and you'll continue receiving good content.
Absolutely. And of course, I want to encourage any of you and any of the channels that you're whether listening or watching us, if you have a question, please feel free to send it in. You can send it in different ways. You can send it through an email to us. You can send it if you're watching us live. You can put it right in the chat. And of course, if it's not something we can answer now, we'll cover it with the next episodes that are coming up. So we always are looking for content material. We really want to answer the questions that are bothering you and keeping you up at night. So go ahead, send us those questions, and we'll cover it with the upcoming episodes. So just a quick preview of what we've covered in the past. We launched this podcast in October of 2021. So we are now, I believe, very close to our 30th. This is the 29th episode. So we've covered a lot of tax deadlines. We've covered self-employment, accounting and taxes, due dates. We've covered partnership agreements, buy-sell agreements. We talked about importance of bookkeeping, record keeping, what auditors look at. We've talked about IRS audits. We've talked about employee retention tax credits, 1099s. I mean, you name it. We've covered so many interesting subjects that are very, very relevant to business owners right now. And of course, a few weeks ago, we had a very special guest, and this will happen. You'll guys see. We're gonna bring in special guests here and there. So we had David Scher, and he was a mortgage broker, previously a CPA, and he gave us some really awesome insights about what to expect as a self-employed individual when you're applying for mortgages.
Correct.
So, Pedro, tax deadline is technically done. I know you're
Yeah.
exhausted. I know
Yeah.
every tax CPA is right now exhausted.
Yeah.
So we are not going to cover tax subjects today.
Please, please.
All right.
Let's if
We're
you
good
have
with
not filed, if you did not file an extension, you know,
I know. I mean, even last minute, I'm sending notes to you and you our other colleagues as well, saying, okay, this one is submitting. Okay, this one is approved. This one, it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Until
No,
last minute,
he
we're
was.
always working on those. And I know you have the heavier burden than I do because I'm mostly focusing on growth and scaling, and you're focusing on the tax and tax planning. So kudos for getting over another tax.
Yes,
Deadlines.
we have done it one
So
more
with that,
time.
guys, we really wanted to kind of cover a little bit about motivation. What motivates us as business owners to really do what we do every day? Why do you wake up every morning to run your business? What is the key motivating factor for each one of us? And this is really important because it can make or break you as a business owner. If
Mhm.
you know,
Okay.
and again, as the host, I'll let Pedro start first. You're my guest, so Pedro, why don't you take a stab at it first?
Motivation,
What
that is
keeps you
that.
motivated every
I
day?
know exactly. No, it is it is truly a good subject because what exactly keeps you going, and I think you have to have a target, a goal, and I think that's what keeps us in the I don't know what you kind of call it, the fight, the continue going after it, because otherwise, what exactly gets you up? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What motivates you to uh, even what you're doing right now? What motivates you? And so we all have to have that. I'm old fashioned. I still have next to my desk my every night before I go start writing down. Okay, what exactly I
yes,
want to accomplish, and I set goals, and then that's what keeps me going. Obviously we have families, we have children. Those are part of the motivation to get up and not
absolutely.
simply lay back. Uh, so that's in summary. What keeps me going is that I have is not just a number that I want to hit. I do have
Right,
financial goals, but I also have some other goals. Either be in my case, health goals, and also
absolutely.
some other philanthropic goals that I want to accomplish in my before I go. I want to leave a mark. So that's part of my goal in life, is that I don't want to simply be existing. I want to leave a mark. And so that is what it motivates me. I want to when my day comes, that my children will remember, this was my father. And
Hmm.
that also part of the motivation. You know what I mean? And then for my professional services, is that I want to exceed the expectations of my clients. I don't want to simply deliver. I want
Right.
to exceed it. I want to be, and so that's is part of, again, the motivation, the continue improving, and not simply uh, you know do the bare minimum. Otherwise, that what happens to us. We simply deliver. You provide a service or a product. If you don't have something that really pushes you to continue going further and further.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on my end, I think, and I feel like our motivations may change over time. Like for example, as I mentioned, when I was, let's say, working for someone else, my main motivation was like, let's take them. I want to take care of my family. I want to do a great job for my employer and all of that. So it was very simple then. And I feel like right now, as a business owner, there's like the next level that for me personally, that I've achieved, where my goal is more than just taking care of my family. It's about the impact that I'm leaving in this world. It's like something like you said. It's like, what is the impact? What is the impact to my community? For example, philanthropic goals. It could be personal. It could be professional. where are we going? What is the main impact that I'm going to leave, and how am I making a difference in this life? So that's been something in the back of my mind. And I know as I switched from, let's say, being an auditor and then went into being a controller, CFO, and then now as a business owner myself, that's been something that's always in the back of my mind. What is the difference that I'm making in this world? If I'm not motivated, that's my always been my main motivation.
Yeah.
But it's also, there's this short-term motivation where you're like, oh, I got to take care of my family. It's like very
Yeah.
immediate. But then there's this big thing where it has to do with what really makes you feel warm inside. You feel like you did
Yeah.
the right thing. You did the best thing you could possibly do for this world.
Yeah. No, and I think that is what the incentive. I mean, otherwise, again, I like to look at it like, imagine a cruise going from point A to point B. If you don't have goals, you don't have a map, you don't have direction, you don't have a set deadline. When do you want to arrive to point in this case,
Right,
point
right.
B? You have, so you're basically going through the process. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and you
we're
have
drifting.
nothing kind of getting you to achieve. And you see that in life. I mean, you see people that simply going, whatever, you know what I mean? So then what is going to motivate you then to not only compete, but to excel? You know what I mean? And you see this very clear when you're in sports, and you see why is it these people are training so hard every day
Right.
and repeating the same process. You see these people repeating the same jump, the same shot or something. And they say, why are you doing this? Because I want to not simply be an average. And
Right.
when people look at the definition of average, and you realize you don't want to be average, you want to be above average. You want to excel. You want to be. So that's the motivation. I mean, when you see certain people that want to go beyond of the minimum standards. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
And so that has to be in the mind of all entrepreneurs. I mean, this thing of being average, looking at what is the average this, what, well, it could be used as a standard because you want to be above that, but you should not, your goal should not be to be average. Your goal should not be, whatever, you know what I mean? You have to have clear goals.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how do you know that your efforts are going towards something productive? Again, going back to the cruise, if you don't have a specific goal, when the distance, the time frame that you have, your fuel will be depleted, probably even halfway of and then what do you do? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so because you didn't have a plan, whatever, when you want to arrive, I don't know. Do you have a plan? Well, no, not really. I just know that I want to make it to point B because I can assure you, ask people, do you want to be successful? And I will be surprised somebody says, no, I want to fail in my business purposely.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? All of us want to succeed.
Yeah. We all want to succeed. Yeah.
Exactly. But then ask them specifically, okay, so how much, what is your revenue goal for, let's say, 2022? That start getting more specific because, of course,
Yes.
all of us want to make more money. More money is what? So again, being specific, having goals, because that's going to motivate you. Is it $1 million gross? Is it $1 million net? What exactly you want to make? Is it 10 million, 20, 50 million? Yeah, what is it that you want to achieve?
Hmm.
What is that
Yeah.
goal?
And I'm glad you said that, because a goal, it can be very different things, because there could be that personal goals, you could be the financial goals, could be the health goals, could be so many different things an
Yeah.
individual could have, and it could be separated in different ways. But then again, all of it has to be in a systematized way and implemented in a systematic way. Where we can kind of say it's discipline. You have to have discipline to kind of, for these goals to be accomplished, right? So, like, something that I like to do is, and granted, working out in the morning is not my thing, but I do it sometimes, and then sometimes in the evening. But I have established my routine. I wake up really early in the morning. I happen to be a morning person, so that works. I like waking up early morning around 5 o'clock, and then I have my devotional time, and then usually as a mom I have to prep food for the kids and get ready to go. So squeezing workout in the morning does not work, so I work out in the afternoon. But there's that system of, this is what I do, this is what I do, and then my calendar keeps me going. I'm very
Yeah.
specific on time management. My calendar is super colorful, but each color means something. So I don't even have to see what's written. I can actually look at the colors and know what they mean.
Good.
So
Good.
it says, my daily Grant Cardone, sales training, or the licensee training. Then I have
Yeah.
my calls, for example. Then I have my follow-ups. Then I have specific things that I'm going to be working on. And sometimes I have focus time. Everything is scheduled and structured, because that's, to me at least, that's the way that I know I can achieve my goals.
Yeah.
And when I go back a few, every time that I look at, okay, did I do this, did I do this, did I achieve that, did I talk to
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
person, then I can hold myself accountable, because I think that's really important to stay motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, you have to have, an empty calendar is dangerous.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It is extremely dangerous. I mean, you have to have, at least for me, I like to do is the night before is to, one, do a quick assessment of my day to see if I did what the things I committed to do. Because, like
Sure.
it's accountability. I mean, did I
Yes.
do the things I was
Yes.
supposed to do? And then prepare, in essence, a plan for the next day. So when I start the morning, I review it, and I have it in writing my kind of my purpose or goal, the master goal of what is it that I want to accomplish, because I think it's important to kind of remind yourself every day that this is a kind of your definite purpose, your definite goal in life. You know what I mean? The And so to remind yourself and then get going
Hmm.
with your days, but like you said, the different aspects of what you want to be accomplishing. But I'm telling you that calendar, if it's empty, or it's not very clear, because the other thing is that might not be empty, it's just
Right.
that you're not organized in a certain way. And I'm not
Right.
going to tell you that I'm the master of time management, but I know that I have specific goals, and I work on my also on my calendar to have it as full as I can, to make sure that there's no empty spaces, because empty
Right.
spaces, then you say, okay, so what do I do now? Then you start meandering around with, you know, wasting time. So no,
Yeah.
you have to have a time for, like, for example, for this podcast. So for us to sit down and
Yes.
do this,
Yes.
dedicating time. If there's something specific we want to bring out to prepare and read and prepare, to write a blog, to my newsletter, to make calls, because you have to keep that pipeline always going.
Absolutely.
Maintaining good relationship with, in some cases, with vendors, with contractors, and so on. So there's always a way to keep the whole machine still
Running. Oh yeah.
operational. To keep it
The gears have to
well.
be running.
Exactly. You have to be oiling everything, make sure everything is moving, everything is in proper. It's not as simple as people think. Yeah, entrepreneurship is to me is exciting, but I know it's challenging. Yeah, I mean, it's not as
Very.
simple. Hey, be your own boss, and you're gonna become a gazillionaire, and buy my course, and then you'll become a gazillionaire, and you're gonna become a gazillionaire by eating potato chips in front of a TV. No, that's not the way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not it.
No, I mean, you have to dedicate, but I believe that the rewards are tremendous if you follow the program. I mean, if you follow the steps and step, you will be rewarded accordingly.
Yes, absolutely. Like, for example, I've always been good on time management, and one of the things I like is the repeatable patterns,
Mhm.
right? So I'm also very specific on patterns. So in my calendar, let's say a lot of the calls, I like to make it mostly in the morning, and as a mom, I may be called to pick up the kids or whatever. So I try to keep the afternoons, for example, blocked out for to doing other things. Let's say, but all calls in the morning or specific trainings in the morning.
Yeah,
So my suggestion for those of you listening or watching us is that find what works for you and patternize it the way it works for you. This is the way it works for me. For example, every day at 10 o'clock, I have my specific call with my team, and then I have from 11 to 12, I have all my follow-ups on any open prospect, and then 12 to whatever. I have a very structured way, so I don't have to get confused. And then my workout taekwondo is all the way at the end, end of the day kind of thing. It's my way of like regrouping. And so everybody has to have their own kind of system. You just have to find the right system for you. But definitely time management is going to help play a role, because if you're controlling time, you're going to keep staying motivated when you keep saying, okay, I achieved this, it's going to help you stay on track with your goals and your targets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're
Yeah,
right. When you mentioned time management, the time is something that is a non-renewable resource. I mean, and I tell
exactly.
people before, I don't mind. I mean, of course, you probably get upset if you make a deal and you lose money.
Of course.
But if I when time is wasted, I don't get it back. Money,
Right.
if I made a bad deal, a bad business decision, or a poor business decision, which led into losing some money, losing a client, going over budget, or something,
Right.
something that I'm not gonna earn the amount of money. I can make it up by making a better decision, a better business
The
deal.
following time. Yes.
Exactly, I can
Yes.
recover my
Yes.
loss, but time I cannot recover.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
having the empty calendar, or like you said, having a structure that you're maximizing the amount of time, because all of us, including
Yeah.
Elon Musk and all these wealthy people, all of us have the same amount of time.
Exactly.
All of us. It's just how we're using that time. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean, you can get upset with, with you or somebody else. Oh, well, look at her. Well, it's because, what is she doing? And that's the
Yeah.
other thing I would encourage other people is, instead of hating, is what can I learn from this other person? You know what I mean?
Yes.
What is he or she doing to have
Yes.
achieved those goals? Because I remember Marie at this point, and look at her now. You know what I mean? As an example, or look at, name it. I mean, successful people that you hear and see around, and what have they done, so that I
Yes.
can copy from them, learn from them what the positive things that they have done, so to achieve those goals. And again, using sports as an example, that's why they do. You see them looking at tapes, repeating.
Right. Right.
They
Yeah.
watch. Okay, I see how he or she does this, so let me emulate that. Let me practice it. So I can improve. So
Right.
you can apply this in business. You know what I mean? In your personal life, you look at successful marriages. What can I learn
Yes.
from it? What are they doing? How is it that they're having such what at least appears to be a great marriage? What can I do to learn from that? I see this other business successful. What can I do to improve it, so I
Right.
can achieve the same goals?
Yes. Absolutely. And then for me, another thing I wanted to bring up is part of what motivates me is that every time that I'm learning, and this is something you mentioned too, is, development, personal or professional development is something that I think keeps you motivated as well. Because if you're always learning, and what you're learning from those who have done it before you and have that abundance, they've built that wealth, whatever it is that's motivating you. But you learn from them techniques and things that can help you achieve those goals, and it brings you another level of thinking.
Yeah,
So for me, the way I mean, and again, I'm always saying an example of myself first before I give general examples. So for me, the way I thought of, my life and what my accomplishments were supposed to be, before I started my business, or even being a consultant as a side gig, was very different than now being part of, let's say, having a mentor like Grant Cardone, and then being part of the 10X community, being now a licensee, and I have already branched out to different areas, from just being I have a CPA firm, but I also have the coaching services, and I have two other areas that I'm working on now that I am not ready to say it out loud yet. So other businesses that I'm planning to launch. But if I was just really doing my own little thing and never learning from someone like that, I would never have opened my eyes and opened my mind to other opportunities that I can do through collaboration. And collaboration was not even something I thought about. I thought I had to do everything by myself. And
right,
there's no way you can do everything by yourself. So that gives me motivation as well.
correct. The other thing, as far as motivation, that I like to encourage people, is also you know, I know there's some dangers of like-minded, but at the same time, there's some benefits of that. And
Hmm.
at least the like-minded, what I like is like-minded people. Like you mentioned, the 10x community. I mean, there's people that you see that they have a certain group of motivation, and as
Yes.
long as everybody's pushing each other to move
Right.
up, that's that to me is the positive thing, is to associate with people that want to succeed,
Yes.
that are constantly pushing themselves to, because you will also go up with them. You know
Sure.
what I mean? You're in
Yep.
this group of people that are constantly looking for ways. One, they keep themselves motivated. So by default, you also kind of be pushing yourself to be motivated. You know what I mean? So when we're looking at, we're social creatures. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
depends who you surround yourself. Like
Yeah.
your quote at the end of the, yeah, and then it's true. You will become according to the people you're surrounding yourself. And typically
Yes.
you can tell because look at the people, at least like you said, at least at the five that you spend most of your time. It will influence your decisions and
Yeah.
how you're gonna achieve. So um, if that being the case, then select very carefully who are gonna be those people are gonna be around you that are gonna be at least as a minimum have those qualities that you want to also absorb. You know what I mean? It's a good positive quality traits that they have that I can
Right.
learn and I can contribute to them. And in the process, we all pushing ourselves up in the process.
Absolutely. And you're right. Sometimes you at least for me, it happens to me. I get even motivated if I help someone else. So if someone else I hear, for example, oh, they're having a hard time and they're demotivated and or they're feeling down or they had a loss or something, that I am one of those that naturally just that switches me into the
Yeah,
next gear of like, okay, I gotta help this person, and because I'm motivated by helping others and
yeah,
making a difference, as soon as I help that person and re-guide them and put them on the right track, I feel like ecstatic. I feel like the
yeah,
next level of like my motivation is like off the charts.
yeah,
And then as I'm speaking, I'm getting all excited about it.
yeah. And that's a good trait to have,
Yeah.
really. And especially when the individual that you're gonna invest your time, it will absorb this information and
Right.
produce. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
I know for me is that when I see people that you want to help, you invest the time, but they don't want to, in essence, be helped. I don't know
Yes.
if you get my
I know what
point.
you're
It's
saying.
almost like they're in a ditch in a hole, and
Hmm.
you throw a rope, you're trying to help them out, but then they say, no, no, actually, what I want you is to come down with me and sit here
Yeah.
next, and it's like, no,
I
no,
know.
I'm not doing that. I will help you. I will provide. I'm willing to invest some time as long as, again, that's why it's important that the people you're going to surround yourself, because we all are going to have challenges. All of it.
Of
Doesn't matter
course.
how
Yes.
successful you are. We have downtime. We're human. You know what I mean? We're not robots. I mean, so there's going to be days that I'm down. I'm upset. I'm having a challenge, and I'm
Yes.
sure you go through the same. And so, but
Absolutely.
if you're having a down day or I'm having a down day and you call, hey Pedro, I noticed that you kind of seem like you're
Yeah.
not
And we've had those.
you know what I mean. So but you know that if I invest 5 minutes or 10 minutes motivational conversation with Pedro, like a pep talk, it will be well invested.
Yes. Yes. Of
So
course.
you know what I mean. He's gonna get up. He gonna get up his rear
Get
end,
out of the
and he's
funk.
gonna exactly. So then you, in turn, you also get motivated. Say, yeah, listen, we're helping each other in this process,
Yeah.
or vice versa. If I go and give you something that kind of pep talk, and you say, yeah, you're right, let's go after it.
Yes.
Then I also feel positive because that 10 minutes, like I was talking about time, I
Yes.
know that was not wasted.
Absolutely. I know.
You know what
I
I
know
mean? That
exactly what you're
investment
saying.
of time, yes, I stopped my train for a second or a couple minutes here. I'm gonna give Maria a pep talk, and then I'll get back on my train and go back.
Yes.
And at least that investment of time was not wasted because Marie's gonna get back on her train also, and she gonna take off.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really amazing. And we've gone through that, and I've gone through it with other friends that I'm collaborating on other business opportunities as well, where they've had, let's say, specific, personal or family, pullbacks where they needed to put it, their whole emotional, being was really affected. And I had to be patient and, give support and build them up so that now that they're back, now we're like pedal to the metal type of like, let's go.
Let's go, let's go,
You know,
let's go. Yes,
so
yes.
you're right. It has to be the right collaborating partner as well.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yeah, you don't want to be, I'm sorry, you don't want to be anchored. You know what I mean? Like, no, come down in the ditch with me and let's You know what I mean? Like, let's get up, let's get up, let's go and fight, let's
Yeah.
go and produce. You know what I mean? So, and in the process, the economy moves, and we all prosper.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Love that. Love that. Well, I think we are already at the 30-minute mark. So I think I've had a really awesome conversation today. This was really exciting.
Yes.
Um, by the way, before I do the closing, I wanted to bring out, as we're doing all these podcasts, guys, for those of you who may have listened and you have your own podcast or the show and would like to invite us for guest speaking opportunities, both Pedro and I are super available. We're
Yeah.
happy to be your guest. So feel free to send us a quick note, a call, or an email, and we can schedule that as well. Or if you want to be on the show, give us a call as well. We'd like to have special guests come on over on our show as well. So, with that, thank you so much for joining us today. I guess, as always, we say it. We leave you with the quote from the motivational speaker Jim
Yes.
Rohn. You are the average of the five people you spend the most time with, and I hope that we are the two of the five people yet you are spending your time with.
Oh,
And with that, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and until next Thursday, 10 a.m.
take
Have
care.
a good one.